So it is 7 PM on Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. We're gonna open the regular board meeting. You please, take roll call.
Yep, I have trustees Chris Campos,
Here.
John Talbot,
Yes.
Jen Christensen is absent, Bill Motisi,
Here.
Nathan Mize,
Here.
Patrick Yarlow,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavini here, and Clerk Sandy Mize in here, Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
And I think at some point Nate might join us remotely.
He is not. Nate is not
No.
joining us, I don't think.
That's what he told me.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
passed all info to me and
Yeah.
I'll handle his.
Yeah, he told me he was gonna attend remotely.
Oh.
So,
All right, everybody's
See
here.
who's got that.
It's gonna be here.
yep,
The last call.
All right, please rise amid the pledge of allegiance.
No.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
yeah, don't shine it.
All right, on to the consent agenda. Tonight we have 4 items. June 13th, 2023, regular board meeting minutes. Number 2, bills payable dated July 11th, 2023, for a total of $114,942.09. Number 3, outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $100. Number 4, ordinance number 23-11, an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Davis Junction, which is the Blueprint Stand. This time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 4 items for further consideration? If not, I'll entertain the first motion. Jen's not here.
I move to place agenda items 1 through 4 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that these items be considered together as the consent agenda.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to place items 1 through 4 inclusively on the consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen is absent, Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Motion passes 703. In second motion,
I move to adopt agenda items 1 through 4 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
I'll second that.
Chris makes a motion to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. John seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
and Jen's absent.
It also passes 703. Not need item D, so there's nothing removed from the agenda for further consideration. So we'll move on to reports to the officers. Any questions on the water report or fuel report? We'll move on. Utility bill drawing. Brenda, you're lucky winner. No
Come on,
attorneys on
Brenda.
this million. Dig deep.
I don't need this.
Brenda, oh, no. 705 Golden Prairie. All right, that being done, I have 2 things that aren't on the agenda. Attorney point of contact. We just need to go over that again. The attorneys have actually asked us to use a point of contact within the village, mainly for newer people. Or for anybody, we might know the answers to the questions already before we go to the attorneys and incur bills, because every time we talk to them, we pay them. So before we go asking attorneys questions, ask around, somebody may know the answer. That way we can try to avoid having bills from the attorneys. Either ask myself or Sandy or anybody who's been here forever and a day. Brenda, she's been here longer than me.
I got my box in the basement, everybody wants notes.
You can probably throw those away.
Next week's meeting is the rescheduled meeting from July 3rd. If we do not have anything on the agenda by Friday, I will cancel the meeting. It's committee level meeting, and we won't meet it. If there's nothing on it, we'll save more money. On that, move on to Sandy.
The only things I have on there are the FOIA report, and I don't think there's any questions. Nobody reached out to me. And then, most importantly, in the vein of my existence, is this sign. And so, there was hot discussions as to how we wanted this sign to look, where we wanted things to go. I then realized that half of you wanted a train and half of you did not. So I kind of need some direction.
No, we need to make a decision tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Uh.
So I think we've all decided Davis Junction belongs down there.
Yes.
Like, that's what we've all decided.
Yep.
Give or take that. I
Whatever.
can't do it, yeah, whatever, you get it. So it's really whether or not you want a train and where you want it.
Train or no train?
No train.
There, see,
Patrick?
No train.
Patrick?
No. Train.
Bill?
Train.
John?
No.
Chris?
No.
Nathan?
No.
No train.
Nose wind.
alright. So, that's one question now, thankfully. Now, the next question was, do we
Oh,
do,
wait, just for the record, I know Jen's a no.
She's not
too
here.
bad she's not here.
Where are you gonna?
So,
put this
then
space?
the
No
next
process.
one was the spacing of whether, whatever we put above here. And so whether we wanted it centered or over to the side. And so that was the other one, whether we wanted it here or here.
Really, is that important?
Oh my God, if I have
Put
to
the
talk
F
to one
over
more
the
trustee
end.
about this, yes.
That means yes.
Put the F over the end, that looks more balanced, you're gonna crowd the V into the corner.
Yeah,
otherwise.
keep it like that.
Okay, then the other option was to change that to welcome to.
No,
No.
nose wind on that one. So
Okay, so,
Village up where it is. or
They're already
village up
here.
To the left.
As is.
Bill? Left or as is?
See, I'm trying to figure when you write a letter, the first line is the way to get it like that.
obviously it'll be smaller than Davis Junction. I just needed.
This is about how it looks, not how you write a letter, Bill.
Yeah,
No, you
more
don't
curved
understand.
here.
When you write a letter, you got the split sentence and then
Wherever
the other
it's
one's
up,
the
let it
margins
go
I'm
for
talking
it.
about. Okay, that's no sweat.
So there or
Yeah.
centered?
literally.
There. Sit there.
I think that's fine.
Patrick?
That's fine.
John?
As is.
Chris?
We're good, let's move along.
Nathan?
You got enough votes?
Giddy up?
Thank you. Thank you. If you don't have to-
Order the signs.
I'm going to, I will be ordering.
All we need is the clowns in one room. We got them made.
So
Alright,
now, hold on.
Oh,
So now you can order this sign, right?
yes,
yes.
Okay, let's do that.
yes, I'm going to order it. You guys have
I don't
already.
want it coming in the middle of winter time.
Nope.
Well,
I will
still,
get it
that,
ordered.
just because it's ordered now doesn't mean it won't come.
Well,
out
and
later
the
times.
longer we wait, the-
Wait till we get to
better
something
off-
serious.
So, that being said, since I'm really enjoying the torturing myself.
All right.
This is our draft of a new website. Obviously, I just put a holder photo in there.
There's
for
a train.
now. There is a train.
What's that thing up there? What?
So these are just holders to some. We just need coloring. It's white, black, red is the colors I gave them. This is essentially what it'll look like. These are the drop downs.
Is that train thing gonna change? for
Oh,
time?
This,
Yes.
yes,
center.
I literally I literally gave them a holder photo and said, just use that.
I do like that, cause a lot of people sit up
I do
with
too.
cameras and take pictures, they'll love that.
It does. We actually have a gentleman in town who had
Oh,
given
they'll
us
love
several photos.
Actually, you can get them to donate pictures for it.
So anyway, if nobody has any objections to the coloring and to these down here, then obviously these will change based upon what we want them to be, but this is just a sample of what it'll look like.
So we're gonna put a train on the website, but not our sign?
Yes. They'll be able to see the water tower from there.
That next ship has sailed.
Sandy,
Yeah,
the water tank can go on the right then with the. or it's gonna go to the left.
okay, anyway, so then when
The
you
man had a
click
dead
in-
horse, he beat it.
when you click into the website via one of these drop down tabs, it'll say something really important. This is essentially what it's gonna look like.
The bottom is gonna be like that.
What?
It's gonna cut off the whole
Everything
thing.
we say is really.
Yeah, because it stays in the background. Yeah, we can change the photo, John, to something that doesn't get cut off.
I'm sorry, this isn't on the agenda.
It is not, so I'm just tossing it out there because it came in. I want you guys to see what you
Except for
think.
consensus,
Where
not
it's
vote.
at. Oh, I don't even need your vote. I just am gonna tell him it looks great. as is.
Great, as it is.
Make
Use
it-
your better judgment, Sandy. We don't like-
That's all, yeah, no, the website needed less discussion
Okay.
because we'd already
I do
pretty
like
much proved that. And then my last thing is I need all of your laptops here at Village Hall before seven AM on, I know where yours is, before seven AM on Thursday morning, please. I don't need your charger. Here's this from the back. I don't need your charger cords, but I do need your laptops. And if you've changed your password other than what I set it for, I need that too. But they will be here Thursday to do all of our computers.
Shoot, I could have brought that.
I don't remember what you
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much positive I have all your passwords.
Just drop
but-
it in the utility bill box.
Okay, that's it. Please remember to bring them. 'cause if they're
I'll
not
be
here,
right here Thursday.
That's all I asked.
Well, thank you for your work on this.
Thanks. All right,
Brenda?
that's all I have.
The treasurer's report for June is in the packet. Any questions, let me know. That's it, sorry.
All right. Who's doing the attorney's part?
Well, if somebody will make a motion, we can get to the discussion part.
For that
of it.
whole-
That is
thing?
long.
It absolutely is.
Oh, good lord.
So motion second discussion.
I'll make a motion for ordinance number 23-12, an ordinance granting approval of a special permit conditionally authorizing the development of a community solar farm in the AD-agricultural district and the C3-commercial district and environmental protection and open space EPOS overlay district development permit and associated site plan approvals for community solar farm 13296 Illinois Route 72 Davis Junction, Illinois, pins 11-23-126-004, 11-23-200-010, and 11-23-126-003. Sedum Solar LLC and Heidi S. Turner Living Trust, UTA dated 12-1704, John I. Turner Living Trust, UTA dated 12-1704, Charles P. Turner Revocable Trust, UTA dated 8/26/97, and Donald R. Turner Revocable Living Trust, UTA dated 7/31/02.
Is it, did you get a second on that
second?
already?
Not yet.
Okay,
Are you seconding?
yes,
Okay. John makes a motion to approve ordinance number 23-12.
Run through it again.
No,
You actually made a mistake, so you might wanna go ahead and do it. again.
No,
Bill seconds.
I didn't make no mistake.
so, yeah.
Now we're in discussion.
The Planning and Zoning Commission had a public hearing over the course of 2 days over the last 2 weeks. And they ultimately came to the recommendation that you see in your board packet. Approving the project with a few changes to the original plan that I believe Kira might touch base on. Did you want to do your short presentation?
Yeah,
Okay.
great. Familiar, but.
Yeah.
Software.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah,
just,
done,
yep,
yeah.
just
Three,
use
yeah.
microphone like normal.
Yeah.
I actually think
I
you're
got
good
the
to,
green
yep,
light.
yep,
Good,
you should
good.
be good to go.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. Thank you again for your time. Nice to meet you, Pat. I will spare everyone else a lot of the details of the project that they've heard a few times, if that's okay, but happy to answer any questions that
All right.
that you might have. Yeah, so as Sandy mentioned, we went through the public hearing process with the PZC on the 28th, and then concluded on July 5th, where they recommended approval of the finding of fact that you have before you. I'll mention just on the technical side, a few of the conditions that were reviewed and then imposed by that board. Sorry, it's not in the slides, but, first was the fence height that was, conditioned to be an 8-foot, chain link fence. Our proposal had been, 7, but 8 foot just for, additional visual screening and security. Another change that we made was we incorporated, we increased the proposed decommissioning bond amount, so the cost estimate of decommissioning has, we have engineers consider the total amount of taking everything out of the solar farm and adding up the cost of that removal. That gives us our originally proposed number, which is something around $397,000. We then also consider the salvageable value of those materials, so we're, it's a lot of steel, some copper, lots of things that can be recycled and additionally, a growing resalvage industry for those solar materials. So they take that cost I mentioned, then they consider the salvageable value. Then there's some you end up actually net positive based on those calculations, and then there's interest applied to or considered in that like net positive outcome of what, you know, we will make for moving the project. Someone brought up, a neighbor brought up during the process, you know, did our decommissioning bond proposed amount, which as I mentioned is that cost, it doesn't take into account salvage value, did that amount account for inflation? So after looking back at the numbers, it didn't, so we proposed an increase in the finding of fact you have before you is an increased decommissioning bond amount that accounts for inflation over those first 10 years, as well as a periodic review of the decommissioning plan, which is proposed by the Agricultural Impact Mitigation Agreement. So the idea being at year 10, we would come back with a new decommissioning estimate at that time. That's sort of you know, accurate reflection of costs and construction costs at that time, and then it as we did increase the decommissioning letter of credit amount. Other elements of changes. I feel like there's one other that I'm missing. I don't know, Sandy, anything from your side? Oh, the subscription element. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so another thing that we were excited to be able to propose and then have added into the conditions for the project is, as you all know, there's this subscription model for these community solar projects wherein a ComEd customer can subscribe to the community solar farm. Their subscription is supporting the operations of the solar farm, and they are in turn getting guaranteed savings on their electricity bill. One of the concerns that was brought up is sort of this is widely available to ComEd customers rather than kind of localized to the community. And so what we kind of confirmed with our subscription provider and what we're committing to on the project is that it will be that subscription opportunity will be marketed to, and that savings opportunity will be marketed to Davis Junction residents before it's widely available to residents. So those are the highlights of changes and conditions that were considered. I think just to sum everything up, so we've got the subscription side. Yeah, I won't really walk through these slides as you all have seen them.
I think this is the only one Rick wanted to see. Do you want to see that one or the next one?
Just the location again, so we'll just
Yeah.
discussion.
I think that's a better view of the location.
Yeah, I guess I'll note in terms of location, the like zoning addition that we had to discuss. The zoning element that we had to discuss prior was this, and it's an element of this. You're considering today is the, I don't know if we say EPOS or EPOS here, but that overlay district that our access road is going through. So that's an element of this current project location. As you can see, the main project area is in the agricultural district with our access through that C3 commercial corridor. Overall, I think, you know, we're really happy with the project and proposed layout that we have before you. Like, appreciated the opportunity to get the feedback from this board and get a sense of, you know, what are the plans for the town? Where does it make sense for the city? What are your priorities? And really heard that feedback and moved the project as out of the way as we could. So it's really, you know, it's settled in this northwest corner of the farm, right along the railroad track, over 350 yards away from the road. This is something that the Turner family wants to do with their land, an opportunity for them to diversify income. This also, you know, increases the tax base, although we've discussed that's minimal impact for the village government itself. You know, pretty significant increase for the local school district is a great benefit. Increasing that tax contribution to the school district without, you know, putting any additional demand or sending additional students to the school district. This is also a way to preserve the land long term. So, you know, in 35 years from now, if the village is expanding and if, you know, commercial uses are ready to grow beyond just 72, the land, once this is decommissioned, is ready for that development. If it's not quite at that stage and agriculture is deemed kind of the highest and best use at that point, similarly, land is returned to farmable state that it can be used for that purpose. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, we see this as a very low impact project, a good neighbor, and we at Cultivate Power want to be a good neighbor to the community. We're excited and have already started doing some research about contributions to Focus House and Lifeline that we heard were, you know, local organizations that could contribute to and make an impact on. So, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions, but would appreciate your support of the project tonight.
So we don't have anything. All right, so if I get this right now, by approving this, we grant you the authorization to start developing this upon more permits given
By the state.
by the state, correct?
You go into the state project at that point?
Yeah, so we would, upon zoning approval, we'd be moving toward the state program in terms of, like, maybe part of your questions. Yeah, this would sort of what we would consider the zoning approval.
Right.
We still have to, meet all the conditions of this approval, still have to meet the criteria of building permits, any other applicable codes, et cetera.
But I mean, a building code, as long as you file the building code correctly, it's gonna get approved. I mean, there's no stopping that at the village level at that point or doing anything.
No.
So the things that you've looked into, the programs with Focus House and things that are just thoughts at this moment, and nothing is in writing or guaranteed that you're gonna give back to the community in any way with that. So if you decide not to, you can step away from those ideas at any moment, correct?
Those are not in writing yet,
Correct.
but certainly.
Correct. All right. With that too, that we spoke earlier that the village isn't receiving a ton of benefit from this. We have a bunch of projects going on for green space and things in the area. Without commitment to something else and without commitment to something else that benefits the community directly. I guess I don't see the push at the moment.
The benefit
Without, I mean, there's a ton of benefit to the school and to a few of the other situations around here, and I think that's great. And I think that's a move definitely in the right direction. I just think that you mentioned that in a lot of communities that you do a bike path around there. There's not a need for a bike path here, but we have a need for bike paths other places. So there's things like that that I would like to see things given back to the community a little bit more if we agree to this. And I need those in writing before I agree, not just a spoken word.
I think.
So that's my thought on that.
We give the landowner the ability to do this, and obviously there's gonna be income for them off of that.
Sure, and I don't want to stop that by any
That
means.
gives them then potential income to develop the retail corridor along 72 that's on their
Love it.
property.
But there's no promise of any of that.
There's not.
There's no guarantee.
Absolutely
This is all amazing ideas.
It is for sale.
You can't.
So-
There you go.
I think a lot of those plots have been a sale for a long time, so there's yeah, so.
Well, that's just, with that one, I mean, we've had this conversation, with that money, there is the possibility they could put in their own, we're not gonna put in roads on private land. But they could do their own developments. Again, it's similar to the donations, it's not in writing yet, but you gotta give the landowners an opportunity to do stuff.
Just so everybody is aware too, so this is to approve a special use, which, the village's ordinances only allow for a special use to go for 1 year without development starting occurring. So if no development occurs within that time, typically a special use would then cease to exist on its own. I believe Mark added some language to do an additional 30 to 60 days, which was all that he was allowed to do. And so,
Maybe not.
okay,
Yeah.
so within 15 months or so, if no development occurs, this ordinance in the special use will die on its own.
My understanding is the state has opened up most of this approval to streamline the production of this, correct? Or at last meeting, you said something about that the use of the permits was changed.
Yeah.
The qualifications for the
It wasn't
permits
a lottery.
got aggressive.
You got in the queue, you were in the queue.
Thank you for that lottery comment.
Yeah, there's annual kind of, program for the state.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
So
not
the
as- not
opportunity
as-
for you to move faster on this is possible at this moment. That the bureaucracy of the lottery wouldn't hold you up in that.
I mean, there's a variety, I would say, from my perspective, the lead time and constraint on the project being progressed is mostly supply chain based for us and. Is the biggest constraint in terms
You
of
still
time.
have to get approved by the state, and I assume you still want their contribution. If it wasn't available, then that would delay or cancel your project, correct?
That's an element where then we have to consider project viability.
The state, you never know.
We're still waiting on our agreement.
But before you get carried away, I just want to tell you that I'm gonna vote against it. I want you guys to know why. It doesn't have to do, I think you bent over backwards to make the village happy. And I'm great with that, and I actually think that it looks fine. My problem is, I don't know what to expect from something we've never done before, and we already have one. And for me, I wanna see what happens with that beforehand, and I know you can't wait for that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's your property, you wanna do something with it, you know, not just farm it or whatever the case may be. But for me, and it's just for me, I wanna see what happens with the one we've already approved, that nothing's happened with yet, right?
I may not.
Yeah, and it may not, and that's absolutely true, but.
And then we'd have
currently,
none.
We have approved one, and one scheduled to go in, and until I see the ramifications of the one I've already done. I don't wanna approve one that's 2.5 times bigger without knowing anything, you know, and we've had five or six proposals. From people, other people, or, you know, you might be included in that total, but from people who wanna build solar farms. I'm not opposed to any of it, except for I wanna see what the first one is before I vote.
Well, the
I
first,
just thought you deserved it.
the first one and this one are the only two that have really been in places that are out of sight.
Well, they're better
Right.
located. They have
The
better
rest of the
location.
ones that were proposed were in your face.
Right, no, and I agree with that. But I still want, for me, I wanna see what happens with the first one. I have no problem with everything that you've done,
Yeah.
and I think it's been great. It's just I wanna see what happens, you know, in a year from now, or 6 months from now, or whatever, when I see something. Then I have an idea, but, you know, I won't be here in 30 years, so when it gets decommissioned, you know.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think just to respond to that, and I appreciate like your openness, but in terms of like development and the project timeline with feasibility with ComEd and entering the state program, like that response from this project's perspective to wait for that other project to go forward or not to go forward, and I have no sense of where they are in their processes, to wait for that, see how the village feels, and then proceed is very likely that kills
I
the
totally
project
understand.
feasibility
Right.
entirely.
Right.
I guess like, for a question back to you if I can, that, is it just a concern about the project, having a more negative effect, like having a negative effect that you don't anticipate on the village, and we want to, that's your idea, is see it at
Well,
once, so we could.
The benefits for the village to me are minimal. And I don't know the side effects or whatever the negative effects that are going to be in the future. And the risk isn't worth the reward, in my opinion.
You're seeing it as sort of a doubling of risk.
Well, I mean, the risk is unknown because quite frankly, we've never had a solar farm, and while they're building them all over the state, doesn't mean I need it. Without, you know, $1,000 a year for us in taxes, it's not a huge thing for us to take a risk of someday finding out that something leached out of the solar panels that affected the land. I don't know. And again, you're not gonna know, I'm not gonna know that in 6 months or a year from now, but, and maybe not 30, who knows. But I will see other problems that might arise that I'd like to know as a village trustee and a village resident before I approve multiple solar farms. That's just my opinion. I thought you deserved to know why.
Yeah, I think like it is helpful. One thing we could talk about more is sort of use cases of other solar projects that exist already in Illinois. As sort of a litmus test or an example.
Well, there's a lot. I
That
drive past
question.
them all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And in 6 months or a year, I'll have feedback from them.
Yeah, I think I agree with Chris in the aspect of, I think you guys have went out of your way to accommodate us in what we asked for. I mean, originally you proposed it out against 251 with the power coming out right across from our proposed development that we're looking at doing now. You moved it back into the corner where it's less visible. You moved the power connection out over to the road off of that other property where it's less visible. Leaving our retail, what we consider to be the retail corridor for our village open. Went through the process of getting it to where our residents could subscribe to it. Even listening to planning and zoning and making the changes there. So again, I'm in support of it. We'll see how the board goes.
Rick,
Yes.
I like this idea. It's interesting. And I know that we can't tell what's going to happen in the future. But now we've got railroads coming into Rockford. And we're also working on our Route 72 improvements. This might, it may enhance their position with this stuff from Rockford coming through. And I'm wondering, with the improvements that we are making down 72, if this would contribute in any way to the other improvements that we're going to make on there, plus other people who may purchase and use the land to the east. So I'm trying to think, prognosticate out how all these things can happen and bring something together. That's the one point of view I have. The other thing is, will these solar panels, will the new people want solar panels like they want solar panels put in? If they put in their solar panels, someone else who gets that land and wants to improve it, well, with businesses, stuff like that, would they engage and want to add on to these solar farm
I'm
things?
confused as to what new people.
The people who buy the other land on it.
Oh, those,
Yeah,
no,
the-
this would be a completely separate
development.
development. Those will be different developments and hopefully they'd be something to contribute to our retail corridor. Our
Oh.
commercial corridor and out there.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about if these people had any interest, like these people have an interest of putting on solar panels on their buildings or whatever, their commercial property. I don't know how that's going to play out yet, but I'm really interested in this project. I know you have to think go from point A to point B, and there's nothing there yet, but I don't know how to prognosticate out what's going to happen.
Currently, we have one that's approved and up in the air. This one would get, if it's approved, would be up in the air until they figure out whether it's gonna go forward. You
Okay,
could end up with 0, 1, or 2.
okay.
And what people do down the road, I mean, somebody builds along there, puts commercial property and wants to put wind or solar on their roof with the little
Mhm.
portable units. That's up to whoever's sitting in these chairs at that time.
Okay, well, I still like to,
All we have control over is what's before us now.
yep, that's right. Like I say, it's all abstract right now, but I like the idea. And I'm leaning toward approving something like this. It takes somebody with courage, guts and money and foresight to do what they're doing. And also it may take bigger, better minds and erase some of this abstract thinking by this board. I can't transfer all our thoughts or my thoughts rather as to what's going to happen, but I would like to see them keep moving forward. And if they would come up with any other good ideas to convince us of other good things that are going to happen, I'd even like it more. Thank you, ladies, for, sticking it out.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I think the location's great. I think the use of that area is great. I don't have a problem with 2 solar farms anymore. I did in the beginning and I kind of is gone. Like Chris, though, the risk reward for Davis Junction as a whole is a lot of speculation and potential promises. And I think I have a problem with the potential. I mean,
I guess, like, I agree with you, this is.
once it's up, you don't have any obligations.
Right, but okay, so there's a lot of time between now and then. I would also say, like Cultivate Power, our company was founded with this concept of community investment in mind. So we have, outward based, like public statements, or our kind of tagline is this idea of local community investment. It's something that we talk about on every project that we work on.
We spoke about it when you came here first.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, we did. And I
And like.
spoke my mind then too, so.
Like,
yeah.
if you approve this today, then, what's going to hold us to that is our name and our reputation, our steps we have left to develop this project, the fact that I hope to be doing this for years and years in Illinois, and, we are committed to these investments, and I don't want it to sound like this, this is something we're doing today and then forgetting about tomorrow. This is happening, this is
Right.
the investments we want to make, regardless of if it was a conversation like at this table, or if it's just an independent conversation that sometimes this doesn't come up at all in zoning process we have.
Anything further before we go to vote?
Remember, the railroad was up against this same problem. There was nobody around. They didn't know how good it would turn out, and I'm sort of looking at it like they're a railroad.
Sorry, I'm not following your analogy.
Railroads, when railroads came through here, there was nothing through America. And this is how we grew and prospered. And
I don't know if we want to get in that debate.
I'm not debating anything. I'm giving it an expression that if we didn't have railroads working with the government, they would have never been able to contribute as much as they have. Now, this I'm looking as a corporation or family, whatever they want to do, to try to put something like this in and see how, and see that it can contribute to us and grow. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
No.
Okay.
The other question I have currently is, you said that we get first dibs as a community to the potential discount that it offers. Anybody can sign up to this solar collection now, right? Like that's out there. Like we don't have to use your services and we don't sign up specifically for your services. This is just an opportunity that anybody in Illinois can use this benefit and sign up, right? So these special us considered first, like are people ever denied for this program that to sign up for a cheaper solar program through ComEd? People are denied through this, or is it a need cost basis? I guess I'm not familiar with that.
Sure, yeah, no, it's a good question. Most of what you said is correct. It's like a product specific element. So like once you're subscribed, it's like you're subscribed to ABC Solar, is how that works. And then so this would be a specific opportunity to subscribe to Set Up Solar. In terms of kind of, I don't have numbers to speak to kind of overall demand. I've heard of people being on wait lists for subscriptions, that kind of thing. I don't want to kind of commit to, you know, what that wait looks like, what those numbers look like. But, you know, I think with like dedicated marketing and awareness of those savings locally, and then that opportunity to subscribe first, it is, you know, certainly a benefit to us this year.
We asked the landowners that are out there about developing land, and when it comes time for what we're looking for to get commercial and retail development along 72, I think that when the landowners find something they can put in there that will help them along this way, we don't need to hamstring them by stopping something that could help them move forward. Whether it does or not, I can't guarantee you. But I mean, when you have a landowner is trying to develop, is trying to do something with their land, they're not asking us to do it. They're just asking us for approval to put something on it so they can get started. I don't think we need to hinder them. It's not for the best knowledge we have, it's not a pollution causing item. It's not a noisy item. It's not, it's just not using a lot of resources. It's actually creating green power. I just don't have a problem with it. I don't think we need to stand in the way of land use. Anything for? Roll call.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
I love this project so much. I just think your pencil's not sharpened enough. So I'm gonna.
Chris,
No.
Patrick,
No.
Jen is absent, Bill. We have only 2 yeses and 3 no's.
Motion fails. 7:39.
Contact you tomorrow, Kira. Or it's Thursday. If I have time tomorrow, remotely, otherwise Thursday. Yep. Yeah, it's not here. For your community. though.
Oh, I know. Going on the reports committees, does anybody have anything for Jen? Comments on the fireworks? They were fantastic.
I thought they were.
Thank you.
They went above and beyond this year, in my opinion.
It was great.
We
That's what I
had,
heard.
we had a lady contact Village Hall and say that she came from out of town and thought they were spectacular and wanted to make sure that we knew, and she thoroughly enjoyed it and will be coming back next year.
Sort of, except for her from the neck. Just saying, it was like this.
You were on the clock, what?
I feel like Patrick might have been
I
closer
don't remember getting it.
All
You
right.
closer?
to the fireworks.
Were we laying down?
I feel like you were closer to the fireworks than Chris.
Yeah, that was, my neck didn't hurt.
Where were you?
You're just getting
I
old.
was,
With, we're next to them.
Right next
yeah, I was way out there.
Oh,
with his.
Inside the pond.
you know, I should have brought a chair with the beach chair and I could have just sat back in, but they were dropping, there was stuff dropping pretty dang close to me that was still on fire. In that field, well, in our field.
Yeah.
There was a couple fires they gotta put out before we had to do anything.
You know, it's pretty
Good
dry.
show.
But it
It's a great
was,
show.
I thought it was better than it was.
What kind of turnout do we have for people staying for the movie?
I asked Erica and she said that for the fireworks, she thought there was probably like 200 people. And then she ended up leaving before the movie started, but she did say that it looked like quite a few people were staying.
There were more than 200 people on Diamond One.
Yes, but keep in mind, this is Erica's first time coming
Oh,
and
yeah.
seeing a crowd like that, because she has been before, but during COVID, when it was not crowded. But no, he did not, Erica did, but Fergie mentioned that there was less cars. Or you
Yeah.
guys were so awesome at parking.
Yeah, I mean, the crew had, they were Well, packing them second in one. there, they were packing them in there really well, but yeah, we only filled up probably about 3/4 of the, we still call it the 14 acre, but we only filled up about 3/4 of that, so that was kind of strange.
Yeah,
But they did a great job.
They
parking
were
all
all around,
So,
you know, in the subdivision.
Oh, yeah, they were everywhere.
Maybe more people walk to it this year.
Nice night.
Yeah. I
Took
think it
forever
was
to get out.
yeah,
That's always
Well,
true.
Yeah.
yeah, it's always the case.
The person directing traffic was doing a poor job for the cars leaving the grass, but he would
There
let a
was
bunch of
nobody.
cars pull out of the grass. And then no traffic would move. Traffic would start going again.
Who was
and
doing that?
Nobody's directing.
Somebody in a vest with a beard.
Oh, that was just some guy having a beer, probably.
Kyle, shouldn't have been. He went and punched out and left.
Yeah.
Went with his
Yeah,
family.
I don't know, afterwards, we were stuck in
Yeah, he
stuck
went with
there
his
forever.
family.
The sheriff comes out and
They let
jumps out.
about 30 cars go out of that grass parking lot before we could get out of
Was
there.
were they letting him out towards onto Park Street or onto Lincoln?
Onto like right at the, I don't know the name of the streets, but right across from the Dollar General.
Okay, so
Or-
that's usually the sheriff then, because we don't allow people off that curb. So,
Whoever it
the
was,
sheriff
they were
usually
letting
comes out
everybody
and
go
does
out of
that.
there and then traffic get backed up and then people
Yeah,
on the streets wouldn't get to move at all and they'd let a bunch of cars
Yeah,
go.
I can't believe it'd be him because he called me on the radio and said, hey, am I done? And I said, yeah. So, because his family was there. So,
There was a county.
yeah,
And
so
he
I don't
wouldn't-
know.
He wouldn't have put them over the curb.
No, typically no.
Yeah, that's why I
So-
said, we don't typically direct over. that
Yeah, that's
curb.
weird. I don't know who that was.
I don't know.
Yeah, and usually the sheriff helps us by going out on. the
Well, yeah, I
corner
seen
park
the
and stuff
share
too.
the cars out on the road,
Yeah. I'll ask.
I was
That's
about
interesting.
ready to turn some lights on and get out of there faster.
Chris, finance?
You had no emergency expenditure.
We had no emergency expense. So I don't have anything.
Ordinance?
No,
All right.
nothing yet.
Parks?
Well, it's a discussion of pond project, which you can, if all of you received the update today
Yesterday,
or yesterday, sorry. On the potential addition of additional 2 feet to make it 12 feet. Sorry, I forgot to pull up the exact dollar
I'm
amount.
pulling it up now.
I am too, but I'm a lot slower than.
Well, this is going against the,
Pond project.
So,
you have a contract, stick with it?
no, this was what their rebuttal was.
Oh.
Yes, so what this allows us to do, I opened the wrong one, of course. Is with the addition of the rebate from the liner that they're, okay. So they're gonna remove 2 feet from, that's on there, then I'm gonna move an additional 2 feet for a total of 4 feet from what I understand. They have a source where they can source the product in the clay field that we don't use here to go to another project at a discounted rate, so we're not paying that $9 or whatever it was per yard to remove before. It has been reduced. So they'll remove the two yards, reuse it on our surface when they refill it back in, kind of for overlay, and then the other 2 yards kind of disappear. The credit is for the clay liner because they're gonna reuse some of the product that's there and the lack of need for all of that, so we get a rebate a little bit of that. To do this part of the project would be the 83,185.15. They have done soil samples, so there's, as far as we've seen, through samples, there will be no problem with doing this.
And
Whereas before we have a problem currently.
And I believe.
This alleviates the problem that we had and then puts it in a place that is usable.
And I
as-
think that TSD plans on being on site during the dig to verify the soil materials. They're the soil sample company, and I believe that part of this that it
Right.
said that they will be on site.
That was
too.
fair ground.
Should be, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is Porter's proposal. but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just.
That
saying,
email came from
fair-
Fairground.
fair, right,
Yes.
right, I read that.
So this,
So, before you get, too far into the weeds, how much was the cost of the clay liner that they're not gonna put in was part of the $600,000
like
proposal?
60,000, I don't know.
So why is it only a third of the credit?
We're still using a bunch of it. It's just they're reusing some of the stuff that's there. We're still receiving whatever the liner portion is. We're just not having to use as much, and then that's where the credit comes in, is my understanding.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I think,
I guess.
so because we're not using as much, there was another proposal that gave us a lot more when we changed liners. So if you're thinking of that, there was a change of liner that we could have used, if we had some other things that we ran into that was on the previous proposal that gave us a much larger credit, but I think the total cost of that was still like 160 or something like that, thousand. So, that fix. So this is what program and everyone has agreed to is the best option going forward to fix the issue that we have going on, giving us a couple more feet of depth and kind of alleviating all the issues that we have going on currently.
But last week, we didn't want to budge on anything and we wanted them to stick to their contract.
Which
Our
they-
last meeting, sorry.
This is just an approval for improvements that benefits everyone. So
Well-
it is a bit of an addition, but it's still.
Chris, do we have the money?
We're already $1 million over for the year, so, budgeted $1 million over, so you're gonna put another.
So where are we gonna get the money from if we do this?
Yeah, the only place to cut it would come from is the reserves, and you're gonna use some of it, you're gonna have to match I assume we have to match the next $600,000 amount if we're gonna improve the park, we're gonna have to match that, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's a
So we're talking
700,000.
1.7 million with the.
That won't be till next fiscal year.
I understand, I'm saying
Yes.
that's digging into your reserves.
We still won't have it next year.
Yes.
But we
Yeah,
don't
we
know
will.
that for certain. We have not set that. budget.
No,
It matters not to me.
Yeah.
To me, it matters that we're already $1 million over. I didn't wanna do 600,000 on the pond in the first place. I'm surely not gonna put another 83,000 to make it
Maybe we should have.
That's me. I'm not paying. I
So
don't
what's the
care.
option besides this?
Leave it as
2
is.
feet.
10 feet.
It stays at 10 feet, they're gonna
Right.
probably still try to charge us some movement of things, and there's gonna be some back and forth that I would imagine would.
So Fergie, you're shaking your head.
What?
Give us the.
I didn't realize I was.
Give us the operative, analysis.
Like I said, this is not my
They're losing
thing. This is
money
just me on the outside looking in here. I look at a couple things. I understand, Chris, the 600,000, but overall, I think we got a pretty decent deal. I mean, what was the next closest quote on that? 900,000? So we're already money ahead there on this
Would
project.
we have done it? Then it was
No,
That's up to you guys.
900.
Can't
I
answer
don't
that.
know. We can't answer that. because
I would-
can't
That's not
open
something I
the
can
vote.
answer, but I'm just saying, well, we're already into it. So either way,
Yeah.
the next one was
When-
900,000. So I look at it as, okay, we're a bit of money ahead there. Obviously, nobody wants to look at the 83, but this is a massive project. We're not going to be doing this again anytime soon, hopefully.
Hopefully not.
But I also look at it as when it comes to doing a pond, you're already in there. You're already,
Well,
you're in the project. 2 foot deeper, better.
And I-
Deeper equals better.
I understand the $1 million that we've already agreed to be technically over budget for the year. But that is also due to the
900,000 of
Well, the
it
vast
is
majority
grant.
the grant, so I mean.
Yeah, they rebuild Illinois.
Right, so I mean, we,
That's not a that'll be a 2-year project to the speed. don't we?
Yes, but the
Right,
way
yeah.
it was
well,
budgeted.
according to them, we have to have it done by next year, so.
Oh, yeah,
That's Sure.
Sorry about that.
I understand that it's gonna be overturned. That is my issue is that you're eating away at your reserves at a time when your revenues are falling. And that I have an issue with, to make the pond 2 feet deeper.
Is there anywhere?
I
we can say-
understand your contention because you're right. When you're doing, it, you probably should go ahead and. do
Don't
it
cover
right.
your microphone.
Yeah, you wanna
when
talk privately on this?
Sorry.
Yeah. Cover your
Is there
microphone.
anywhere we can cut $83,000 that will offset?
Or maybe we can find $83,000.
We discussed going into this, the last 2 years, the village, the supervisors have come in under budget over $1 million for the last 2 years running. And we have spent that money to pay down the IEPA loan without going into our reserves. And so do I suspect that minus whatever we spend on Rebuild Illinois, we will still come in under budget? Absolutely, I do. We are a very good group of 4 that has managed to do it for 2 years now. And if not, we're gonna be real close.
The original plan was for 15 feet. I know I don't have another.
We couldn't afford
It
that.
was 15 feet. I know. Pretend I got one more hand up here. It was 15 feet. And that was going to give us a very good cushion for growth and potential of the use of the pond. Then because we decided that our pockets were too tight and we could not allow this to happen, we took 5 feet off of the pond project. 5 feet, took a ton of amenities out and we made this in a budgeted, so that way everybody was happy with it. This is an opportunity to gain 2 of those feet back and give ourselves a cushion, because 10 feet is, I think it was 9 feet was what we were required to have. I think 9 or 10 feet was the requirement that we needed for this to be a benefit. Now, so we're at the bare minimum of what we need to have. This gives us a little.
I'm with Nate.
Little
I think,
cushion.
I think to go to the depth, I think that $1 million, we knew we were gonna be over because of the Rebuild Illinois grant. We can't guarantee we're gonna save $1 million off our budget again this year, but we've done really well at it in the past. And will be a big chunk of it.
Well, let's vote.
I don't think we've even made a motion
No,
a second
there's not
yet.
even-
Then the silent side can. unless the
It's
silent
not
side
really a
wants to
votable
chime in.
item, but.
So let's do the motion second and get it into the,
Alright, do I need a number for this?
You do not, you just make a motion to approve. the
I'm
change
making a motion to approve the change order for increase in the depth of the pond
In the amount of,
in the amount of $83,185.15.
Second.
So Nathan makes a motion to approve the change order for the pond to the Porter Brothers.
Yes.
In the amount of $83,185.15. John seconds. Any discussion?
Yes,
We're kind of catch-22. We just got to keep moving forward, but I get the feeling that this is something because Porter Brothers didn't know how to do a bid in the first place, that we're getting stuck with this 2 extra feet. And this way they recoup some of what they didn't bid right in the first place. But that being said, deeper is better. I'm not crazy about, yeah, and I'm not, I mean,
That's just it. We gotta go to.
We'll spend that in litigation in a heartbeat.
and no one ever likes to take out his savings, but we've certainly taken out his savings in the last 17 years, so. But I feel part of this is they just trying to recoup what they couldn't bid right, but it is what it is.
Bill?
I think we're looking at a deep hole. I can't see the light out there.
That's a good
First thing you
analogy.
said, I agree with.
And yeah, and someone keeps turning the light on and off and I can't see down there and I don't want to spend any more money.
You get it, Bill.
So I have to say no, I don't want to.
We're not voting yet. We're just.
Why, if you don't want to vote, because it's not going anywhere?
We're still in discussion.
All right,
you ready for a vote?
I am ready for a vote.
Chris,
No.
Patrick,
Yes.
Jen is absent, Bill,
no,
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
passes 3-2.
That motion passes 7:55.
I have something else to talk about. It's not on the agenda. This will be brief. We got awarded a grant.
Another grant?
We did.
I would have led with that. but
So,
yeah.
nope. Nope. Wait till the end part before I finish
Oh,
because.
that's true.
There's a reason why they came in the order they did. We were awarded a grant. This grant is for a filtration system that for the runoff of the farmland that is off to the west of us. What happens is all the runoff from the farm comes into the park and then it flows into our pond, polluting our pond. So this grant has been approved. I forgot the name exactly, but
Should have led with that.
it is. It's a comment grant, that's right, comment grant, it's $10,000, we still have to match 10,000 of that. But it will protect the pond and it gives a natural filtration system of environmental awesomeness to, before it gets into our pond system. So the prevention of stopping and killing fish off, including our pond from runoff, will hopefully take on some of that with the green space area that we have the grant for.
Silt filter,
Silt filter,
So
that's-
it's gonna.
chemical filter or both?
It, this silt.
I don't, is it a natural area? It's probably a natural area.
It's a natural area. It's right on the other side of one of the ball diamonds.
It should be a natural.
Beacon grant.
I gotta tell you, half of my objection to the pond was that it was just gonna silt back in.
And we now have a grant that will cut down, hopefully on a large portion of
Okay,
that.
if it cuts down on 20%, it makes it last.
From my understanding, it's gonna do better.
And the
But I don't know
issue,
for
the
sure.
issue with the pond silting back in is that is our water runoff control. So we have to keep digging it out.
But the pond sits at the bottom, everything's gonna flow into it, so that's just. the
So
way
this
it is.
grant
If-
prevents
If it
some of
can-
that, yeah.
if you can reduce it.
So Chris, another $10,000?
Yeah.
well, that was.
Hey, 10,000 is a lot smaller. Great.
But the most important part for me is that it's also gonna be a butterfly garden
Yeah.
with some, with a signage, kind of talking about why it's important, butterflies are important to our community, like that's another part of it, so. If that'll.
Yeah, we have
That's
two
the-
areas that are currently set up in the park designed for that, and the first one is starting to take off and do very well currently. So these signage and things, when the park is done, will all
in there, is those?
explain all the details later.
Busker?
So,
Yeah.
but yes, so it's a great opportunity. I don't need anyone to vote on it. I just need to
Not on the
let you
agenda.
know
Nope.
that there's other improvements that are going on that will help the pond project and our extra 2 feet from not filling.
Well, I wanna see the rest of the Oslet grant go through too. So that's why I wanna make sure we have enough money without having any worries, because I think that's an important development for
Agreed.
the community.
Well, that's, yeah.
So,
Save us some spending money.
but everybody should keep in mind, we do have
So-
falling revenue, so we.
But there's ways to save money on the future projects
No,
to,
there's
to, that we can do in opposite phases to spread out over time. So that way we can take advantage of all the grants that we do have and we don't over budget. Nate and I did sit down and we started, things with, to get the ball moving in certain ways for stuff for the rest of the pond project. So we are looking at ways to save money and cut costs and still provide all the amenities that we were hoping for, or a lot of the amenities we were hoping for before. So we will continue to search for grants. We will continue to search for ways to do this in phases so that we can afford to do everything, even with our less than awesome money.
Down revenue.
Yeah, the revenue or
Or decreased revenue.
the decreased revenue that we're receiving. So,
Keep the ball moving. Chris will keep the money rolling.
and I believe that completes me unless anyone else has something that I've missed.
Parks look fantastic, by the way.
They're getting there.
You know, last time I walked around, it was all dirt.
It looks a lot better. They cleaned up a lot of the
Just
rock
talking
area
about-
that was a problem before that Nate talked about at the previous meeting. That's been cleaned up.
From
a
our
lot.
natural devastation.
Oh, yeah.
From the
Uh,
store, yeah, come a long way.
You know, it's not burnt out looking grass over in the football fields anymore. The things are starting to come back and I have a feeling that by the end of this project and next year that we're gonna be really happy we did all these things. So.
Have you had any updates from Nate on glass removal?
Other than the proposed opportunities that he has and the plan he has in place currently, I think he discussed at the last meeting about how he's gonna, I think there was some more.
He had done
Tilling
everything,
and
I
stuff.
Actually think their fields are ready for use.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
pretty close,
They're-
so.
Yeah,
He's been.
because I think they start practice in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yes, the 24th is when their permit kicks in,
Maybe,
potentially.
waiting on some stuff.
Yes, we're hoping the permit kicks in on the 24th. Pay no attention to the possibility of people on the fields anyways before that, but that'll be a discussion for another day, so.
See what happens.
but yeah, so as of right now, everything looks
Joe looked at me.
on par, and we look like we're gonna be ready to house most of that with minimal movement or reconstruction of events this summer and
The,
fall.
the announcement goes out tomorrow morning along with the approval of this additional 2 feet. But it's already scheduled to go out tomorrow morning announcing that we will not have the fields that we had planned to because of the delay in the pond due to weather and everything else.
On the grass and putting. on.
Yeah,
Right.
but we are still gonna host all of the soccer and football. They're just gonna be in locations that they're not accustomed to, but we still anticipate being able to house everybody. It's just gonna be a little weird this year, but I think Nate had told all of the permit users that going into this season, that this project was coming and potentially gonna be an issue. So if anybody hears anything, yes, everybody still has a field. It just may not be located where they're accustomed to.
Oh, I guess I got one more. I have started the opportunity of replacing press box. Been looking at options. Nothing's set in stone. We're just throwing around ideas. So if the board has any ideas that they would like to do for replacement of what I considered the air tower that we had before, kind of the lookout tower that was there. Other options, I've looked at press boxes, like they have kind of metal, like moving boxes and things like that. They turn in press boxes. To save on costs, I have about, I don't know, 10 different companies that have been contacting and dealing with stuff. I'm just shooting out prices and ideas right now, nothing set in stone. I know that the organization out there, the Junior Tackle is trying to do fundraising and help with things too, potentially. We have not discussed together on these things, but you know, the village is looking at replacing if we can, and what our best option is. So if anyone has ideas or looks or thoughts of what they would like to see out there, please reach out or send that information.
Saying they're looking to make a donation to help. support.
I don't know what they're trying to do. I just know that according to their Facebook page, that they are trying to be supportive and things to help replace some of the things that were missing out there. I don't know that if it's on our end that they're gonna help us with, or if it's just to replace their equipment that was lost. It
They did lose-
is unclear they lost 2 sheds and equipment that was in those
They
sheds.
lost 1 shed.
Okay.
I thought this one was one shed. right?
It's 1 shed.
Okay, so the equipment that was in that shed that is gone and things of that nature, they are looking at replacing and fixing, and obviously, I'm sure they would love that tower back. So that was something that, my understanding, I wasn't here for that, but the community helped build originally with that program, if I remember correct. I don't
That was
know.
over 25 years ago.
Yeah, 25 years ago, right. So
Before
I'm
we
sure
had
they would
one
like I'm sure the hope is to do something similar to that and help out as much as they can. I just don't know what facet or what capability that is. So we will have further information on that when
Maybe
it
when they
comes.
come to a meeting, tell us.
Yes, so I don't want to make any speculations. They are doing things and like for that, and
You just said what we
hopefully
were
we'll be able to agree on opportunities for that. So
Meanwhile, speaking of
Tough crowd tonight.
it
Yeah,
is, it's all right. I'm completely fine with that. So I don't know. I'm just letting you know that we're looking at options. I've looked at some movable ones, so if it's possible for us to, so we could use it for other sports or something of that nature. Or if it's cost effective to maybe have more than one for soccer use too, or something.
I like the one you had that was like a 360 tower,
Yeah.
so that if you put it back there, you could look out onto the soccer or onto the football, and so that you could get like more of a view from it.
So it's great for scouts, videoing some other
Let
stuff.
me remind everybody, we are
Yeah.
limited
So
in
these
the
are
amount of
always
money we can spend.
There is,
This might be included in that 600,000 OSLAD grant, so it's fine.
Can I come?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Not if it eats up 50% of the grant.
Well, kind of in fact.
Does anyone?
I'm happy to look at whatever the proposal is. I just want
Well, let's
everybody to
say-
keep in mind,
He's gonna vote no.
we don't.
I am open to suggestions. If you have ideas that you would love to see, I'm open to those suggestions. I'm sorry, Brenda, please go
It's
ahead.
up to see, okay. I'm sure everybody's aware they're working to get insurance money back,
Correct.
okay? I would feel unsure because. So I'm right now having someone get a quote to see how much to replace that press box. So I can submit it to insurance.
Oh, I-
What's the most expensive one you have?
So.
Oh,
so I can-
they're amazing. There's stuff that will never get approved on the board. Sorry.
We are also receiving money back from what I've already sent. to them. It's called, you know, less depreciation and our deductible, we're gonna be getting a check soon for.
Well,
So,
it probably
for
won't
the
cover
stuff-
all our expenses because of the deduct.
I'm
portion, right?
deductible's $5,000.
No, sorry, it's depreciation. That's what.
Oh, the depreciation may cut it down.
Right.
But inflation should hopefully balance
But
that.
that was just a wooden build.
So-
But you'll probably.
I'm having a person work on it with a picture.
No, but
and
if we
getting
can
it-
get 75%
Structural engineer by
covered, and
chance?
then between fundraising and other things, maybe we can come up with the rest of it, you know, so.
You know, a two-story.
As a community effort,
structure
you
and
know,
the
like the rest can be achieved.
Absolutely.
They're
There,
not raising it for this box.
Let's move. on.
Well.
It was mentioned
we
one
can
of
talk
the-
about that later. Let's see
Okay.
what his ideas are
So,
before we. even
there
get
are
into
some things that are available. Some of the stuff, I mean, I don't know prices because there's so many options. I've asked for very minimal pricing and ideas to start. And then if the pricing is feasible and when our insurance comes back, if there's some things that we want to add on or grow from there, then that's what I'd like to do. But right now, the press box that was there before was very minimal structure-ish. So whatever would be an improvement on that situation, I would hope.
For sure, it's probably doing apples to apples. Yeah, for sure.
Well, for
What do
your
you mean?
insurance money to be.
For insurance
Yeah,
purposes.
two-story, what we had.
Yeah, there
Now
is,
this
everything has been a
something-
two-story, one for concessions on the bottom and everything for the lookout above that. They have ideas that they can do where the press box and bleachers built in together. There's a lot of different options that we can do to potentially make it easier on the village later on down the road for moving and something a more permanent structure. Or something that can be moved or adjusted. So there are options that you will see coming across probably in the next few months. But obviously, we're still waiting on things to come through and to finalize insurance, so there's still opportunities out there, but
I look
I
forward
just
to
want to
it.
bring it out. If anyone has an ideas or come across something you like, shoot me a picture. Let me
Just-
know that this is something cool.
Involve soccer, involve
Yeah.
junior
And
tag.
that the idea is to involve everyone, yeah. So I don't want, this isn't just for one organization or the other, it's for the community. So we want it to look good and to be something that hopefully maybe can stand a little bit more of a beating next time than it did before.
And not
So,
leave class.
so just something that's in the works, but
Anything further?
that's it. I'm really now.
Brett, do you have anything?
The only thing, we got our concrete apron at our shop. Board, we actually just opened it today, so, that's really about it for now.
That's all we have, Rick.
All right. Utilities?
Sandy?
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah,
All right, so, I'll talk about it. So there, in your packet, there's a resolution for a quote from Procom Systems. None of the doors in the wastewater treatment plant have fob access currently attached. Hi. So I'm spending,
What do you want?
I'm spending money.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, so if you wanna listen to
Your
why.
$6,000, oh my god.
To what? Okay, so, anyway, none of them outside of the lab have a fob system on them. So in order to, secure the MCC building with a fob system, we need to add one. It will also then house some, things that we're moving out of the apartment. And so it is crucial that we do this. We did not budget to install the fobs on all of the doors this year, so we realized there was no savings whether we installed one or all, so we're only asking for the one at this time, and then next year we'll budget for installation of all of the rest of the doors that have fobs. After talking with a few people, we do believe this is something that should have been done in the beginning, so it's just adding something back there that needs to be there. I can't make motions.
hold on, don't do it yet. I mean,
It's also on the screen behind you.
is it?
Yes.
Or for any of you can read really small.
I would like to make a motion to approve resolution number 23-40, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of proposal from Procom Systems Inc. for installation of door fob system on MCC building at the West Water Treatment.
Any amount of it?
Second.
How much?
Oh, for
What did it say? Hold on. Does it say it on there?
No.
Nope, it doesn't.
for $6,070,
600.
yeah, $6,678.
Who seconded?
Chris.
All right. Patrick makes a motion to approve resolution number 23-40. Chris seconds. Any discussion?
Finally, somebody standing within budget.
Whoa.
not budgeted.
Budgeted.
Wait, roll call.
Just not all of them.
Patrick,
Yeah.
Jen is absent, Bill.
Are we out of budget on this or
my
what's
goodness.
going
Same
on?
budget.
Yes, no, we're in the middle of voting, that time has come and gone. Bill,
Oh, then it's no.
okay, John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yep, yes.
Chris,
Yes.
all right.
Motion passes 8-10.
No, this was an unplanned expenditure, so do I have the budget money? Cause I'm not,
Killing me.
hold on, I do have the budget money because I'm not putting up a deck.
Oh.
However, it's not going to cut, I'm not putting this in my budget, it's gonna come out of their other budget.
Yeah, do you have
simply
an
so that
update
it
on that?
stays. There's no deck.
No.
Oh, we're currently in the process of, painting, fixing, we.
I got
fixed-
it.
Yeah, we fixed the beam underneath, we just fixed the hole in the wall from,
And I'm gonna paint, save you about
Yeah,
$3,000,
yeah,
so.
John's.
That's all right. Put in new carpet, I don't care.
So the paint quote came back, it was like
Cheap.
3 or 4 grand, and
Yeah, all right.
the paint quote came back at 3 or 4 grand, and John said absolutely not, he'll volunteer to paint.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So John's gonna paint and save you guys some money, so
Thanks, John.
I feel like he should get a additional expenditure down there.
An extra piece of pizza in that drawer.
Anyway.
I paid for half your
um,
fob, darn it.
The gentleman was out today to get a quote for the carpet, to replace the carpet that's in there.
Awesome.
And then the biggest hassle is moving my stuff, so I needed this Procom quote, so I can then move my stuff. So once they install this, we can start emptying the place out, and I think tomorrow they're gonna start moving some of the furniture.
Well, then we're saving money because we budgeted like 30,000.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just
Definitely
gonna,
done.
it's gonna
We're doing
look
all right.
weird, 'cause
There's-
the
20 for the pond.
yeah, the deck was budgeted in my budget, and the Procom's gonna come out of the utilities budget, and so it's gonna look weird,
Yeah.
but the money overall is within the
And this is
budget.
a nice gesture. tenant.
Anything further, Patrick?
It was a good idea, John.
I know.
It was a great idea, actually, the tenant was very excited,
See,
I think it would benefit him.
and it came from John.
yes.
You know,
It's a lot of money.
Good, okay.
Kill it.
Anybody have anything on economic development? Or unfinished business?
Yes,
Oh.
Chris,
Well,
got a phone call today from a lady representing Verizon.
Oh, wait.
She wanted to email me a bunch of new information because they'd like to extend and change their lease arrangements. And so she'll be emailing me what it is that they're looking to do so that we can discuss whether or not we want to do that. And I said, well, I don't think your lease is up for a little while. She's like, yeah, we're looking to add some stuff on.
Probably
So
fine.
I'll be in touch
all right,
as soon as I get that.
that's great.
Yeah.
That'll save us some money too.
Yeah, I think that might also save us some money.
Yes,
We'll see.
So just a warning that I did receive a phone call from Verizon looking to do some modifications to our lease.
Need something.
They want to put more
Interesting.
stuff up there, Sandy?
Huh?
We don't know yet.
Is that
I don't
funny
know
how
what
that
they want
works?
yet. I haven't received the email.
No,
Eventually.
they want to add more
I
stuff?
don't know.
Well, you already know.
No, I
They
don't.
know.
No, I
No.
don't know.
Well, you know, this was a
She
no.
didn't say she knew.
No, Bill, I
Take your
think,
face value.
yeah, I don't know. She called and said they wanted to make changes. I don't know what that means.
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know yet.
All
Put it
right,
on hold.
anything further on unfinished business?
Can we circle back to the apartments?
You want more?
All right, Jen, let's go.
Is that what Jen said?
No, Jen's not.
I asked Brett, they're gonna also be buying a new exhaust fan for the bathroom. That one there is old and cruddy. It doesn't make sense to leave it in there. And then I also asked Brett to get some real light bulbs rather than the incandescents that look like key holes in the snow. I mean, if we're gonna re-rent this unit, it should have new bulbs. A new exhaust fan. And I mean, we probably should maybe even consider those blinds are, you know, as that plastic ages, you just bend it a little bit, it breaks off. I mean, they're shot. So I mean, for a couple $100, you could do some window treatments
We could probably even see what's upstairs.
or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, since we're going to this point and this is somebody that's gonna live there, it should be, you know.
Yep.
Livable. Regardless of how they treat it when they get there.
Few
that's
updates
up-
should have been done probably already anyways.
Oh,
I totally
absolutely.
agree with you, stuff.
Those updates need to happen.
All
I
right,
mean, at the end of the day, him wanting to move and moving for us, even though we could have went differently with it, this does help us, so.
all right, back to unfinished business. Anything there? Public?
Was she in Glendale?
Yeah. one
Yeah, we
there.
do.
Very quiet. Her name.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Anything further from anybody else?
Motion to adjourn, Rick.
Second.
Don makes a motion to adjourn, Patrick seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned at 8:15.